guys, my name is Kay and I am a messenger of the universe. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I'm on a roll with these videos, so day 2, second video, let's get it popping. Okay, we're going back to those daily uploads that I did in the beginning. I'm just not going to be doing a pick a card every single day because that would be pretty boring. So we just going to sit and chat about spiritual stuff again because whatever surfaces is up is what we going to cover. So I just wanted to talk about the whole spiritual experience and how it is for me, and just my take on everything that's been going on around the world and all that good stuff. For me, if you don't know, I had my spiritual awakening a little over a year ago. It was in June, and it happened after I started meditating. I was actually, the way that it happened was pretty crazy. I had there was a lady that basically spoke to my dad and told him that he literally does not know this lady, and she walks up to him and she tells him oh, you're she's telling him about family members that have passed away and how they watch over him. And then she mentioned us, me and my sister, and she said oh, your daughters, they have bright spirits, but they have they have darker energies, entities, whatever you want to call it, leeching off of their energy basically. And she said that the way that they can help this or fix it or whatever you want to call it is by meditating, focusing on your breath and imagining yourself being aqua. Y'all notice I always say that, imagine yourself aqua in a clear bubble. And I did that for I want to say the first time I did it, I didn't notice anything different. And then a couple days later, 2 to 3 days after I started doing it regularly, I noticed that I wasn't really anxious anymore. I wasn't freaking out as much as I used to. I used to be really just different fears that would just surface and I would get consumed in it. But I noticed that I just realized I wasn't feeling anxious, and it was weird at first because I was this is weird because I've never I was so used to being anxious that I didn't know what it was to not feel anxious. So when I didn't feel anxious, I was wait a minute, wait a minute, this is something new, this is something new. This is not something that I'm used to. So I stopped meditating. And then I noticed that a week after, I want to say it was either days to a couple weeks. It was days to 1 week that basically I stopped doing it because I started getting consumed once again by my demons basically. I started getting super depressed, super anxious, and I was this meditation stuff actually works and it helps. So I started meditating regularly, and I had my first those major awakenings you have where it's you have those major type of revelations. And my first one was basically the oneness of the universe and how everything in life is connected. I am connected to every living, not even just living and non-living being. You can't be a being if you're non-living, but you guys know what I mean. Every living and non-living thing, we're all connected. Everything is connected. That's why there's no coincidences in the universe, in the world, because everything is happening on God's timing, whatever that would be for you. God's timing is the universe's timing, because we have human time, our time that we use to govern our day, and then there's the universe's timing, which is completely different. The universe's timing is you could call it, some people would call it random, some people would say this doesn't make sense, but just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean that there's underlying things. So I realized that nothing in life is a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that that lady came up to him during that time specifically. That was the perfect timing, if anything, for me. And at the time I didn't realize how much it was going to change my life. I'm completely different than I was a year ago, and I'm completely different than I was even 2 years ago. I used to be super anxious. If you told me I'd have a YouTube channel, I'd have a business, I'd be doing writing and publishing my own books, I would be what? No way, that can't be me. I was so afraid of who I am, who I truly am, that I even had a pseudonym basically when I was writing books, because I didn't want people to like look at me when they were reading my books and be like, well, she's like 12, like, what does she know, but regardless of my age, people still read my books, and I inspired a lot of people, or entertained them with my stories, and that was really interesting. And when I started getting into poetry as well, I noticed that was another way that I just express myself really well through words. Like, words are just like one of my favorite things ever, because like it's just such a beautiful way to like express anything. Like, just words are beautiful. Okay, but anyway, back to my story about like my awakening and everything. I just realized like everything in the universe and the world is connected. Like everything, like there's like it's like there's little messages in every little thing, but you just have to really like be open to receiving it, because sometimes it's not surface level messages. Sometimes they're easier to interpret than others. Sometimes they're a little bit difficult. Might even take us years to interpret one message that we get, So after my awakening, I also started to have very like prophetic dreams. My dreams, I've always, like, before I was even considered myself spiritual, I always would look up my dreams, like stuff that happens in my dream. I would always look it up. Like if I'm being chased, I would look up what that means. And I noticed that after my dreams, they became more vivid and more prophetic. I would start having dreams about the day that I was gonna have. Like I would dream in the morning. Technically it was in the morning. Like I remember it was like I fell asleep and I had gotten up early for school, and I slept again, and like in the dream that I had the second time I fell asleep, I literally had a dream of my entire day that I had at school. And like it was just weird to me, and I was like, wait a minute. So that's how I learned the importance of dream journaling, because our dreams really are a lot more magical than we think. They're giving us messages. It's messages from our spirit guides, messages from our subconscious mind. Like there's always hidden messages in our dreams that's telling us something about ourselves, telling us something about our life, maybe trying to show us something, trying to get us to see something. And like it really took me a while to really open up to the idea of magic and like getting into tarot. And actually I feel like I got into tarot pretty quickly, but like once I really understood like how magic in the world works, I was just kind of magnetically attracted to it, like just on an energetic level, because I just am into stuff like that. Like just I'm not like, I just like stuff like that, like magic, and just the idea of like being able to cast spells on people, but like not on people, but just casting spells, and like Wizards of Waverly Place. Like that was my idea in my mind, even though I don't think of witchcraft that way now. But early in my spiritual journey, I was just really exploring different things, exploring like divination, exploring ascended masters. I actually got more into Christianity after my awakening than before, even though I considered myself a Christian. I really just got really into this stuff, and it helped me learn more about like myself in the world, and like my dealing with my own internal things, as well as getting into manifestation, which is one of the best things I feel like that I've stumbled across, because I feel like manifestation is really one of like my natural gifts or talents. Like I feel like manifestation comes to me very easily. That's why I don't have a hard time like attracting what it is that I want. And when you get into manifestation, all that good stuff, there's really layers to this stuff. There's like, the more you learn, it gets easier and it gets better, and the more you practice and the more you do these things, it really becomes easier, and you can integrate a lot of positivity and love and light into your life, as well as really, I feel like spirituality to me has really just helped me develop my own connection with God, because before I did not have my connection with God. I didn't feel like I had a connection with him. I started praying a lot more often. Like I pray I want to say almost every day, but I don't actually pray every day now, but I pray almost every day. And when I pray, I just say stuff I'm grateful for. It's, talking to God, like it's like your own personal relationship with the universe. Everybody has that ability to do that. You don't need a church. You don't need a Bible. You don't need a pastor or anyone to become one with God. You can literally have your own relationship with God without the church, And I feel like for me, I really questioned a lot of things when it came to religion, when I was considered myself a Christian, even though I didn't feel like a Christian, because I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand why, like, the whole concept of heaven and hell, and how like we're forgiven for our sins. But it was like, I remember like I would do certain things, like for example, you know, like when this is like my mindset during that time. So my mindset was like, if I do this, I'm gonna this is me committing a sin, and then I have to ask for forgiveness for this sin. But like I know that it's a sin, so it's like I know better than to do it. But like if I'm forgiven for it, then like, you know, like whatever. And I feel like a lot of religious people kind of have that mindset where it's like, I'm gonna just have my fun now, and later on, you know, God will forgive me because everything's forgiven if I ask for it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's not like a genuine connection. I don't feel like that was a genuine connection for me. That wasn't like, that was just me being in my ego, because I just said like, you know, I didn't really care about like what sin really meant, you know. I didn't really care for it. It was just like, okay, I'm forgiven for it anyway, so I'm not gonna be punished, you know. So like spirituality to me has really brought me closer, so much closer to the Lord. You know, I don't really like to say God, because like I say it, but like I don't really vibe with that term really. I usually say the universe, but I kind of like, it just kind of slips out sometimes, you know, sometimes, because I just feel like God is such a powerful like entity. Like it's such a like, I see God as like I don't know how to explain it, kind of like an energy that is so great that you can't even like limit it to like, you know, one word or one term or one gender or one whatever. Like God is like everything and nothing all at once. Like I believe that everyone around me is God in a way, including myself, because we all have power within us. We were created from God. We have that, like, you know, that piece of him in us, in all of us. And, you know, we are limited by our egos and, you know, our minds, our human minds that are going to filter things out for us. But at our core, at our true core, at our soul level, we are the universe. We are everything. We are each other. We are the collective. Okay. So yeah, I feel like oneness was one of my favorite awakenings, actually. That was actually one of my favorite ones, because it really helped me to open up my empathic abilities, as well as like I'm trying to think of the word, like my compassion for others. It changed the way I viewed myself in the world, like my insecurities, how I would project my own insecurities out onto other people, because I didn't feel like I was good enough. I didn't feel like I was pretty enough or worthy enough, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But my awakening really opened up my eyes to like just how the world really is, I guess. And I remember like going to school after, and I would be like looking at everything, like the sky and the birds. Like I would never look at the sky and be like, wow, this is gorgeous. But like, if you know me now, like I'm always outside, always looking at the sky, always looking at the clouds, because it's so like, nature is just, we nature babies, okay? Gazer, y'all already know. Simple. But anyway, we nature babies. We are gazers. We are sun gazing. We are cloud gazing. We are star gazing, doing it all. But it's really important to create your own sanctuary, create your own bubble, like your own place that you can find peace in. My room is my sanctuary. Like I try to keep it as peaceful, like the energy of my room as peaceful as, you know, as it possibly can be, so that I can continue to elevate my spirit, elevate my energy, remain in my own like peace, basically. So it really is fascinating to me how this whole experience for me is working out. And it really did push me to step out of my comfort zone, do things I haven't done before, making a YouTube channel. I used to be really socially not like how I am now. I used to like not know how to socialize with people, not know how to talk to people, even though I was I'm really good with my words and, you know, writing things. I'm usually better at writing than like speaking out loud, but it really just pushed me out my comfort zone. And I really like that, because like the Kayla I am today is a Kayla that the past Kayla would be like, that's not me, you know, that's not me. And, you know, building up, it's also built up my confidence, which makes me, I feel like it's made me more like, just self-love just makes anyone attractive. Like just Like when you love yourself and when you take care of yourself and when you really do care for yourself, it shows in your energy. It shows like in your face. You're literally glowing and you look, you just look alive, and you don't feel like you're just like, oh, sorry, I'm getting distracted, but you can really just tell the difference when someone is like really in love with themselves, like really feeling themselves, and they're not like insecure. It's a different vibe that they give off. And yeah, so I just want you guys to know, if you're going through any of these things and you're going through your awakening and you're like, what the heck, what's going on? You're not alone. I went through mine, and I didn't have anybody around me that was like, could really, I had like maybe one person, but they weren't like, they were there like for certain things, but not everything, so it was really just me having to go out on my own and learn more about it. I started watching more spiritual people, and I keep getting distracted, but yeah, I started following more spiritual people and learning more. And yeah, there's so much information about it, there's so much that you can learn, and there's always a lot to learn, more that I am learning now. But yeah, that was my experience, and it still is very rewarding, and it is challenging sometimes, and I'm still being pushed to step out my comfort zone making this type of video, for example. But it is what it is, and this process is rewarding, and you just have to be willing to open your heart and follow its guidance. So with that being said, guys, I really hope that was informative for you guys, helped you guys. Let me know like what else you would be interested to hear about, to learn more about, and let me know about your own experience in your awakening. And yeah, that's all. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Peace.